Good morning. Welcome to another edition of the FSU Semicast. Today, I'll try and keep it brief, but I want to talk about the Joe Mixon video, as well as the Antonio Callaway news that broke last night. It was a good old Friday news dump. Good times. Anyways, Joe Mixon, if you haven't heard of him, he came to Oklahoma about 2 years ago, and he was a five-star recruit. Might have been the number one running back in the country. Anyways, that summer, he wound up hitting a woman, and it was known it became known later, and it's been known for a while now, that he broke her jaw. He hit a woman, he broke her jaw, and I've seen for a while on the internet that multiple people saying, wait till the video comes out. It's going to be as bad as you think it is. And that's what's funny. I don't need to see a video to know that a type of punch required to break a jaw is not going to be something pretty to look at. But anyway, he was, I believe, suspended. I think he got probably some community service or something or other, and who knows what other kind of discipline. But he was also redshirted that year. So essentially, he didn't lose any time. It's basically a slap on the wrist, if you ask me. You've had people like DeAndre Johnson, which FSU fans, after seeing this video, are going to be like, wow, DeAndre Johnson gets dismissed, but this motherfucker didn't. You had a guy at Michigan, you had Tyreek Hill, all similar situations, and they all got dismissed. But Joe Mixon didn't. He remained on the team and has played the past 2 years now and is their best player. Star running back, probably, on offense, or close to being their best player. He's really good. Anyways, the video. Let's go ahead and take a look at it, Screw hearing me talk. The blonde chick's the one you want to keep an eye on. It looked as though they had some kind of argument or some kind of altercation previous to this. You can see there's some kind of tension there. She pushes him, slaps him, boom. Boom. Just a vicious right hand. And then he walks out like a little bitch. And I'm not going to let you watch the whole thing, but it took this chick about a minute to come to. Alright, so you saw the video. Okay. And what did we see? We saw her push him. I think I heard she spat on him, and then she tried to take a swing at his face. And before I go further, I will say this woman should get some kind of discipline handed down. I mean, she did commit assault. You see it on video. But again, is that enough reason for Mixon to do what he did? No. He fucking knocks her ass out with a vicious right hand. And there's already people on social media saying, hey, she shouldn't try and be a man, equal rights, equal fights, or some bullshit. Give me a break. Was Mixon ever really threatened there? A 200 and something pound, five-star athlete is really worried about getting hurt up against this chick right here. There's no defense for it. You walk away, or at worst, maybe you push her and then walk away, or restrain her and then walk away. You don't swing at her like it's a fucking UFC fight and knock her ass out. And not just knock her out, he broke her jaw. I believe I read her jaw was fractured in 4 places. Now, the fucked up thing about this is, as I said earlier before the video, this was known. This has been known. I've read about this for a while. Wait till the Mixon video comes out. He didn't only hit this bitch, he broke her jaw. You can't hide a broken jaw, folks. You can't. But some people need the video, I guess. And what might be most perplexing is school officials saw this video a while back and still chose to keep him on the team. Now, for a moment, let's say you take the line of, hey, he made a mistake in the heat of the moment. This shouldn't define him for his entire life. Okay, fair enough. But you have to realize how much bad publicity this is going to bring your school. So no matter what line you take, this action is morally reprehensible or it's going to get bad publicity. You have to take one or the other, if not both, obviously, and boot him off your team. You're kidding me. Johnson from FSU got dismissed for a very similar thing. Tyreek Hill from Oklahoma State, a guy from Michigan, like they were all dismissed and like right around that time or within that time frame from then till now. And he got a misdemeanor and he pled and he got 100 hours community service and some like behavior counseling. Like, oh no, he was, and I think Oklahoma probably suspended him. He was also redshirted that year. He was suspended. Oh no, really hurt him there. Like, give me a break. This is not defensible. I was at a bar in Tallahassee one time, the Palace. It's an old school bar. It's one of the most popular ones, kind of a dive. Anyway, unbeknownst to me, my friend told this drunken girl we were with, who was like a sister of someone, of one of the other guys. Anyways, long story short, I'm just sitting there drinking, bullshitting. The bitch comes up and cold cocks me right in the face because my asshole friend thought it'd be funny. And of course, I come to and I'm like, well, who the fuck just hit me? You know, like I turn and see that was her with her drunken, stupid face. I wanted to kill the bitch, but I didn't. I didn't even touch her. You know what I did? I walked away. I laughed it off. I kept drinking, and then I wanted to kill my friend for putting her up to it. But no, there's no defense for it. There's just none. Like, you could have walked away. When she hit you, when she pushed you, you could have turned and walked the other way. When she hit your face, you could have turned and walked away. But no. Now, I'm not saying this should define this man for the rest of his life. But you can't defend this action, dude. You're like, wow, man. Broke her jaw in like 4 places. Okay. No defense for that. I'm curious to see how much heat Oklahoma will get, and they should get some. This is like, no. They should get some heat for this. Other news that dropped last night. It was a Friday news dump. Antonio Callaway was back in the news. We'll see how much publicity he gets. Probably not much, because Florida's playing in the Outback Bowl, and who cares about a team playing in the Outback Bowl? But if you don't know the Callaway situation, before the season started, he was in a Title IX hearing. And, you know, it was basically he said, she said type deal, or at least that's what was surmised by the Title IX official, that like, hey, no, you can't press charges, blah, 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 which is pretty standard. But the issue, the reason it was like a bigger story was because the Title IX official, the judge, whatever, the guy overseeing it, the overseer, was a former University of Florida athlete and a current booster. So, of course, everyone's up in arms like, really? This is the guy you guys chose to oversee your Title IX hearings for student athletes? Like, really? That might be an issue. And at the time, people were like, okay, maybe we made a mistake, but hey, a guy can have enough intelligence to push his bias to the side and judge fairly. Well, last night a report leaks out that Florida that investigated the matter more thoroughly. And should they get a round of applause for that after the fact? I mean, I don't know. They pretty much said that, yes, indeed, this official, this overseer of the Title IX hearing that had Antonio Callaway, had a conflict of interest. Shocker. A guy that was a former Florida athlete and a current booster has a conflict of interest, and student athlete Antonio Callaway, guess what? Gets off. Now, does this mean Callaway did do what the girl alleged? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But it still looks completely awful. It looked bad at the time this report came out about this judge, and now that it's been confirmed, he indeed had a conflict of interest. Google the report. I can't remember all the shit in it. I only read some of it. But I read enough to know that, yeah, you probably shouldn't appoint a guy like that. It's a little shady, UF. And do I care that UF's done this? Am I standing on some high moral ground looking down upon them? No. Lord knows FSU is not a bunch of angels, nor is a lot of other programs. But this, and the point of me bringing it up, is once again, this is reason number 1,567,202, why you don't point the finger, Gator fans, at other programs, whether it's players getting in trouble or programs seemingly covering their best players' backs. Guess what? It appears as though you're not much different. Because I don't care how you slice it, it seems pretty shady that indeed this guy had a conflict of interest, and perhaps he shouldn't be overseeing Title IX hearings with student athletes, especially prominent athletes like the star wide receiver. Anyways, so that's it. That's all. I just want to talk about those two pieces of college football news and how it kind of relates to FSU, in that FSU had a quarterback do a similar thing. He got dismissed, whereas this guy Mixon did not. FSU's been accused for years of covering up student athletes and their issues, and I'm sure that's happened. Wouldn't shock me at all. But again, why other schools, and specifically Florida, really isn't that much different. Anyway, that's it. That's all. If you're a first-time listener, feel free to subscribe. This has been another FSU Simicast. I'm out.